Thanks, Peter. Wow, we had some really great speakers. Who still wants to go to medical school? Okay, awesome. So first thing, as everybody mentioned, first you have to get into medical school, right? It's just not as easy as I started out as a patient, I worked my way up as this cartoon gets in. I kind of wanted to just touch base on the admission cycle. I know Christopher touched base on this, but there's 55,000 applicants to U.S. medical school. Each applicant submitted around 18 applications, so that's almost 1 million applications across all the schools. 41% got a medical school spot. If you consider the total number of applications, it's about 1 to 8% matriculation rate. 24% enrolled in-state, 16 out-of-state, and 59% were either not accepted or did not enroll anywhere. Girls are taking over, 55% female, 45% male. A long time ago, it was not common for women to enter medical school. 30% of matriculants were repeat applicants, so 30% didn't get in and they reapplied. And 70% were first-time applicants. At Loyola, this is kind of what our statistics look like for the admission cycle. 25% Asian, 8% Black, Hispanic, Latino, white, multiple races. Loyola's actually a really popular medical school to apply to. It's the 6th most popular medical school in the whole country. So this year we had 13,300 applicants for 170 spots. Let those numbers sink in, right? So that 2022 and 2023, these are our statistics. Dr. Marzo, who's the dean of our medical school, sent me these numbers last week. And so this year we had 12,000 applicants, and you can see the current statistics for our entering class. As mentioned before, we have a rolling admission. So once an applicant is admitted, they're part of the 170. And so you can get accepted into medical school, but if you're number 171, you're on a waiting list and you don't get to go to medical school here. So somebody has to decline their spot, go somewhere else, so you can come to the school. We have MD, PhD, 5 accepted. And so these are how many offers we make. We made 251 acceptances, and again, the first 170 will go to medical school here. If you look in the demographics, Loyola is one of the medical schools that accepts DACA students, so the Dreamers, so illegal alien parents and their children. So we have 7 Dreamers here, permanent residents, refugee, and the URIM is the underrepresented in medicine, Hispanic for H, and URIM B for Black. And EO1, EO2, that's the education and occupation. EO1 suggests that your parents never got a bachelor's degree. So they had something lower than a bachelor's degree, maybe a high school degree. EO2 is a bachelor's degree. So 71 students had parents who didn't have higher education. 171 females, 102 males, and primary undergraduate feeders. This I always find interesting. So of all the schools, Loyola University we have 21 students, but look at UCLA, 17. Wow, they come from all over, right? So University of Notre Dame, University of Michigan, Northwestern, et cetera. So you can see all the different places. And we have more students coming here from California than we have our own Illinois students. So we have 61 students from California. I'm not sure why anyone would want to move to our winters, but they bring some warm coats with them. So Florida, so these are all the different states. So acceptances are up 12% at this point this year. So that means we're actually accepting people faster, so the spots are filling up. So as mentioned, you need to get your applications done on time. Otherwise, maybe you're a great candidate, you're great students, but there's just no more space. First generation accepted candidates are up 55%, so that's awesome. So first generation defined as first in household to attend U.S. college or university. And re-applicants are accepted to Stritch are up 16%. So Loyola actually gives guidance to those students who didn't get in, how to be a better candidate. So we give some counseling. Okay, you didn't get in this year. What can you do to really improve your application so you're potentially in next year? And then our interviews concluded on March 2nd. So how do you get into medical school and residency? Well, you have to have the grades. If you don't have the grades, you're not going to get in. That's how everything is filtered first. Take your MCAT early. If you're really late, you may have to wait a whole year. Apply on time and make it look professional. Have people read it. Have people in your family read it. Have your English professor read it. Have physicians that you know read it. I read these all the time, and it's amazing sometimes what people submit or omit. If you look at the same thing over and over, you start to not even see the mistakes. So have people read it. You have to have leadership experience and something that you like. It doesn't have to be in medicine. It could be anything. But I want to know that you are committed outside of medical school and outside of college. You're not just sitting behind your desk studying. What kind of leadership? What have you organized? What have you done? You're not just the person that shows up to things. You're the person that leads everything. Your extracurricular activities. So you want to know that, do you swim? Do you speak another language? Do you dance? Everyone needs to have hobbies and interests because medical school is hard. If you don't have those hobbies, you're going to be more stressed out. We want to know that you do something outside of medicine. Make the programs believe that you're ready to be a doctor because you're competing with all those 12,000 applicants. So why should I tell you, why do you care what I think as far as interviews? Well, I interview medical students, I interview residents for residency, and after becoming the regional medical director, I actually interviewed 70 physicians last year, and I hired 25 of them. So I do a lot of interviews, I look at a lot of CVs, so I want to make sure that your application is solid and professional, good scores, and you have consistent leadership activities. Again, you're not just showing up to one thing and then stopping. It's something that you really enjoy and you're consistent. You have to have excellent letters of recommendation. And here, you really want to make sure that your letters of recommendation are from professors, are from university doctors. Certainly you can have letters of recommendation from other people as well, but those really carry a weight because we write these things all the time and we almost have like a secret code. If we have a student who's pretty good, we're gonna write a pretty good letter, and if they're awesome, we're gonna make sure that everyone knows that they're amazing. So we have our code words for how we write letters. I want to know any explanation for gap years. What did you do during that time? Did you go travel Europe, or did you go into the research lab, try to make your application better? Certainly appearance. I had one physician I interviewed over Zoom, and he was in his basement with his baseball cap on with it was just so very non-professional. I didn't hire him. But so eye contact, easy conversation, self-directed learner. I can't sit around and teach you everything, right? So you have to know if you have a problem, there's a patient question that you don't know how to answer, you know where to go and look it up. So I'm looking for self-directed learner with problem-solving skills. And ultimately, can I work with you at 2 o'clock in the morning when everybody's sick and everything, hits the fan? So what counts as leadership experience, standout extracurricular activities? Research, leadership positions with an established organization. You're an organizer of important events, like you mentioned. You don't want to just show up to a blood drive, you want to organize it across the county. I had one medical student that I interviewed. He ran a clinic in India, which ran for free from here, 365 days a year. I don't know how he did it, but he got funding for it. He had volunteers that came, and it was a free clinic in India that he ran from here. That was pretty impressive. And again, these are the people you're competing with. You do a medical mission, that's amazing. Oftentimes people tell me, well, I'm a phlebotomist or I'm a scribe, which is nice, and you can get paid for it, but it's not telling me that you're really seriously considering medicine or that that's a leadership position. It's a job, but it's not really impressive as far as your application. and you want to be an inventor, right? Medicine is changing. 20 years ago, medicine looked much different than now, especially after the pandemic, and we've had to recreate medicine. So I want people who are going to come up with new ideas. You're going to be the leader. You're going to think through things differently, and you're going to be the future of medicine, which I'm sure it's going to look different in the next 10 years. And what kind of residency should you do? You have to love your job. If you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life because it's going to be hard no matter what you pick. So if you're stuck in a miserable specialty or you don't really want to do medicine, but your parents made you, you're not going to be very happy or very good. But you want to be shadowing people. You want to go. If you want to be an accountant, you go see what an accountant does. You want to be an attorney, you go shadow them. Same thing with medicine. You have to talk to people and shadow them. And you want to set realistic goals. You don't want to decide your last year of college that you want to go to medical school. Years of training, subspecialty training. You want to make sure that what you do today, the hard residency, you still love it at age 50, at age 55. Because if you're a surgeon that's on call all the time, you want to really make sure that you love what you do in your 50s. Work-life balance, and then seek out mentors. And I can't stress enough how important mentors are at every stage in your life. If you're a high school student, maybe you want a college student to be your mentor. If you're a college student, you want a medical student. And professors, have several of them. They will give you different advice because I didn't have anybody in my family that was a doctor. I was lucky enough to have Dr. Leah here at Loyola to be my mentor, and he really kind of gave me a lot of information that my parents were very supportive, but they had no clue how to help me. Shadow your mentor. Contact your mentor when you're struggling. They're really important throughout my career. Even though I'm where I'm at, I still have mentors. I still have people that are my friends, people who are above me, that still kind of help me and guide me to where I want to be 5 years from now. So this is kind of a funny slide, like what your friends think you do, what your family thinks you do, patience, and then basically you're going to be that right-hand bottom box studying. So thank you.
What is the flicker? Here's your champagne.